Okay. So, Rebecca? Rebecca?
Right. Yeah, I'm just changing the name now.
Oh, right.
Notebook is how changing the name anyway. Yes.
There we go. Trent.
Okay. So, Trent, Trent, would you like to give us a little bit of background about what you are interested, what is the things you want to import?
Exactly the same thing as the other gentleman I just spoke. Yeah, we want to bring stuff over from China and sell it here in Australia. So more the fabric side of it. We are.
Okay, so wonderful. All right, we also have Steve, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can't see you.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the camera working at the moment. For some reason, it's not. There we go. Happy days.
Wonderful.
Yeah, similar to these other guys, we got in touch with ChinaDirect the other week. We're looking at going over to the Canton Fair for phase 1. And yeah, we're just trying to get as much detail to hopefully not get burnt and make as many mistakes along the way. So yeah, just trying to this all as part of the research before we get over there.
Wonderful, great. So in that case, what we will do is, we have, hi, Trent. Finally, we get to know each other. And so, Anne, do you want to do introduction yourself, Anne?
Yes, I'm here. These are my boys, Lindy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you met Lindy and Sharon, but you know, they're just my boys, and I'm their assistant for ChinaDirect sourcing and Frethan. So yeah,
Fantastic. So in that case, what we will do is we will do two-part, okay? Anything regarding ChinaDirect sourcing services, I have like Trent and Steve and Tam to directly ask Anne, so Anne can handle that particular part. So I'm going to have Sharon, the CTO of Frethan platform, to give you a little bit background about how the Frethan platform works, and how where that look like, and what's the feature included, so you guys can then get a glimpse to see whether Frethan is designed for you. So you can have a combination of, let's say for instance Canton Fair, you may have to use ChinaDirect sourcing services, but Frethan, some part, if you are very you want to do everything yourself, then Frethan is the platform for you. Okay, so I am just going to allow, let me see, okay, Sharon, now you can take over and share the screen.
Okay, so what I thought I would do is, so this is our first webinar. Just gotta get, sorry, my sound's a bit funny. So this is our first webinar. We're intending to do a webinar every week, and they're going to be a combination of introduction to the platform and also best practice for importing from overseas. So we'll have a bunch of different topics that we will share every, like across the weeks. And so if there's particular things you're interested in, you can join the webinar for that week. But as this is our first webinar, we're just going to take you through how the Frethan platform works. So Lindy's already done a little who's here and tell us a little bit about what you're doing. So this is the, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through some of the sort of a few screenshots of the platform, and then I can do like a live demo. So Frethan has been built, basically it's taken all of the know-how and all the best practice that Lindy has developed over the last 20 years of running ChinaDirect sourcing, and we're building that into a software platform. This is our first version. And so in the first version, we have a marketplace of verified suppliers that you can review and select to purchase goods from. You can also bring on board your own suppliers if you're already importing goods from China and you just want to have a more structured way of managing your communications, managing your negotiations, and managing all of your documentation with your suppliers. You can bring your own one in. And then within the platform, there is the ability to create very detailed requests for quote and requests for samples, formal documents, sample making agreements, and purchase order templates that you can use, or if you already have them for your business, you can use your own. There is it's integrated with Corpay, which is an international payments platform, which does all of your currency conversion and manages your payments to your international suppliers and tracks all of the payments that are made. And then, of course, you've got the tracking of your order status, and all of the shipping information is all in there as part of version 1. We're always developing new features for Frethan, and the next ones that we'll be developing will be more around projects. So if you're buying multiple products for a project, being able to group them together, compare and contrast suppliers and things like that. For the first version, when you first log in, you have to enter a bit of information, and we have an onboarding checklist there as well, which takes you through each of the steps so you know how far you are down the path. So you select the categories so that we know what suppliers to show you. Then you enter some information about your business. And then at the start, you can elect to open up a Corpay account if you don't have one. Otherwise, you can wait until later when you're ready to start purchasing to do something with that. One of the most recent things we've done is built in this AI chatbot. So the AI chatbot not only is full of questions and answers around how the platform works if you get stuck, but it also has, this is a book that Lindy wrote a few years ago. We've also gleaned all of her sort of best practice information from that book and also built that into the AI bot as well. So you can ask the AI bot pretty much any question that you have with regard to negotiating your order from your supplier, or how to find the best shipping companies, or where to find your best suppliers, all those sorts of things. And it's full of information. And so you'll get some really good detailed responses back. If your answer isn't there, then we have a team of people that are on standby to be able to answer your questions. So within the platform, you can, when you first get in there, you're presented with a marketplace. You can search for suppliers in there. You can create your own requests for quote, and you can add suppliers from the marketplace, or you can bring your own in. You can then view all of the responses from those requests for quote. And then you can obviously accept those responses and manage and track the payment and shipping of the order. So at the moment, there is a free, you can do some things for free on Frethan. So if you just want to get in there and have a look around, you can. So for the free version, you can invite your own supplier. You can create that request for quote, and you can negotiate a sample request or purchase order with a supplier. And you can actually move right the way through and complete one order. Once you have completed, if you want to complete more than one order or manage more than one order, you do have to subscribe. And you also are not able to approach suppliers from the marketplace unless you are subscribed. So now I was going to move through to a live demonstration, but I thought I'd just pause there and just see if anyone's got any questions.
I guess my biggest concern is just to make sure what kind of the protection that we have, that the suppliers you have, they are all being verified or.
Yeah, absolutely. So the suppliers that are in the marketplace at the moment, because we are quite early stage, they are actually suppliers that ChinaDirect Sourcing has worked with in the past. So we are onboarding more and more of those suppliers each day. And so there will be sort of within the next few weeks, there'll be 10,000 suppliers in there to choose from. Now, we also have a second verification process. So when the supplier subscribes to us, they go through a verification process, which Lindy can probably talk a little bit more about exactly how they make sure that that they are verified, but they go through a verification process to make sure that they are who they are, that they have a track record of producing the products that you are looking to source. And that all of their details check out. So they do reference checks and things like that. So a supplier who is registered will go through that check. If you've invited a supplier to the platform, so they haven't had any contact with ChinaDirect Sourcing before, you've invited them to quote, they do have to either subscribe or do a one-time verification. And so to make sure that they are who they say they are. So we do check every step of the way that you are dealing with a legitimate supplier, and it might be frustrating. It may be that when they go through that one-time verification process, that it comes back and says, these guys, we don't recommend that you continue working with them. So it might be frustrating if you think you've negotiated a great quote or a great price, but certainly better than going down the track of working with a supplier that's perhaps not as honest as they should be. We do obviously keep throughout the process as well, you are using templates and documents that are are recognized as contracts in China as well. And so all of those templates that you use are there for to also kind of ensure that the deals that you negotiate are right and will come into fruition properly. Sorry, that's not the best language, but yeah. Lindy, you're probably better at explaining this part than me.
Let me take over for this little bit. For the
Yes.
supplier, generally to say, regardless whether you find the supplier on our platform or you find the supplier on Alibaba, that's not the issue. So the key thing is when you find a great supplier on Alibaba, for example, invite them to Frethan platform. So then what will happen is once they come to Frethan platform, and then because you already had a good conversation with them, we will hold your hands to go through with you for quality control. One of the critical moments is we would ask them to verify themselves, make sure they are legitimate manufacturer or supplier. If they refuse to do so, what does that mean is we will come back and then give you a recommendation. This supplier refusing to verify themselves. So therefore, as a buyer, you need to reconsider whether you want to use this manufacturer or not. This will dramatically improve the success rate for you to buy, from China. Okay, and this mechanism is something we designed to protect the buyer. So Frethan is a buyer-centric platform. Like Alibaba is more of a seller-centric, and they protect the seller. They, have the sellers, many of focus their product, their promotion. But here we protect the buyer. So we are a buyer-centric platform marketplace. So therefore, it's designed to protect you. It doesn't matter you find the supplier, Alibaba, made in China, Taobao, or anywhere, whatever you find them, and you bring them, invite them to Frethan, and then we will do the supplier credibility check, and then quality check, and then the process control, and then just as protecting you.
Great. Does anyone else have any questions before we keep going?
I've got one more question regarding to if you have a design and you would like to manufacture this design. This platform can help as well?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So as part of the request for quote process, you can upload your designs and things that you're looking to buy. In fact, you can even if it's just inspiration. So as part of that sampling process, you may actually end up having some products created. So you can actually just upload examples of, the bags that you're wanting to import or items that you're wanting to import. So yeah.
Kind of prototype. Let's say if you have a prototype and you would like to manufacture this prototype, is that possible in this platform? Plus, there's any protection as well for the copyrights or new inventions and new stuff. Do you have in platform this cover? Like,
yeah, I would say that depending on what it is, if it's quite a complex product that you're wanting to bring across, you may be better off working directly with ChinaDirect sourcing. I'll check with Lindy, but because quite often with unique products and things like that, it's sometimes better to source the components separately so that you don't have a completed product that you're bringing across. But so it would be very good to talk to, I think, Lindy and the ChinaDirect sourcing team. If it's quite complex, or at least the first time that you're ordering it, it might be better to work with the product sourcing team to be able to get your orders completed the first time round. And then if you feel confident, you could potentially, do your next lot of ordering via Frethan.
Got it. Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, Lindy can talk to this, but I've seen, because I sit in the office, we share with ChinaDirect sourcing. We've seen lots and lots of innovative new products that are sourced from China that come through ChinaDirect sourcing with various different components. So.
I think Sharon is spot on. When it's too complicated and doing it yourself is too hard, then Anne is always there. ChinaDirect sourcing team is always there, and then it's better to get that first time, done right. And if Frethan is more of lighter version, like you want to do everything yourself, and you have that time, you have that effort, you are willing to do so, and then this is designed for you. But if your project is more complicated and you have IP concern, you have all the invention concern, it's probably then better talk to ChinaDirect sourcing team.
Cool. Thank you.
I guess another question would be too, if we're looking for a certain product on your platform and it's not there, what do we do? Oh,
that's very simple. So you see, Alibaba is always there, and there are many Alibaba is designed for you go search, have a look, and so you can have a look at whatever the product is listed there, and you find a supplier and bring them to Frethan. So okay. We are actually here is to protect you. Doesn't matter where you find them.
Yep. Okay.
And then the whole purpose for Frethan's the design is not directly competing head to head with Alibaba. No, we are complementary to what Alibaba provides. So therefore, you can continue use Alibaba and find the product, find the supply you wanted, but this time you bring them to Frethan, then you are in safe hands. we literally, you know, take your hand, go through the process by DIY process. Like Sharon mentioned, you know, as if you have a mini Lindy Chen sitting on your shoulder.
Okay, great.
So I might want this one here. So can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So I've just logged into our test system as a buyer. So you can kind of see what it looks like. So this is the so here we've got the suppliers that are in the system, and if you wanted to create a request for quote, you go over here to my request for quotes, and in here you could have brought in a supplier from that marketplace, or in here you can type in the email address of the supplier that you've been talking to on Alibaba, if we're using this same example. So let's say that supplier from Alibaba that we've been speaking to, we've been talking to him about bringing in just plain white cotton t-shirts. So we can complete all of the information in here. We want to bring in 100 to start off with, but we expect that annually we'll probably bring in 10,000. And in here we'd have a description of the product. So you can put far more information here, but white t-shirts, maybe the weight, I don't know, 300 gram, whatever it is. So standards. So if you're bringing in something that has an Australian standard, you can mention the standards that need to go in there. And in here you put the desired price for your full order at the moment. So if you're getting 100 of them, let's say you're hoping to pay $1 a t-shirt, so it'll be $100, right? Here's the upload file. So this is where you can upload those photos, drawings, plans, different bits and pieces. Perhaps if you'd been talking to someone on Alibaba and they'd sent you some photos of some of their products or some designs, you would upload those there so that they know exactly what it is that you're after. So that's the minimum amount of information you need. You can also then go into more detail here and add in different types of material, the color, the finish, sizes if it's clothing. And then here you say whether you need samples or not. So if you're looking for samples, you can also enter in here that you're happy to spend $10 on a sample. And for the sample, you want three t-shirts. Oops. Size. Small, large, extra large. Like maybe you're just worried about what the sizing is like in comparison to Australia or something like that. You agree to the terms and conditions, and then you send it to the supplier. I haven't put a supplier in.
It's a great idea that we can actually use the system first without actually purchasing it first, so we can see what it's like. That's a great idea.
Yeah, that's it. So you can definitely get in there and have a look around.
Did you say we can bring a supplier in without paying for it at the moment?
Yes, you can invite your own supplier in,
Okay.
but you can't select from the verified suppliers at the moment. So. Oh. There we go. It won't let you send anything if you haven't completed all the fields. So.
Yep.
So we hit send. That sends the request for quote off. And then we can see in here, so the S is the sample request, and the request for quote is the one which is standard. And so from there, within this screen, you'll be able to see, so you can also send to multiple suppliers. You can add up to 10 suppliers to that request for quote at once. And so then in this screen, you'll see all of the different quotes that are coming in from the various different suppliers. And from here, you get the opportunity to be able to, I'll just see if I've got one that's, that we've done some back and forth on. Yeah, so you from in here you can approve quotes. You can decline and request a new quote. So if you're not happy with the pricing, you can decline the quote that they've sent through and ask them to resubmit. And this is kind of a back and forth process. And then once you get to the point where you are you're ready to go ahead, then you send across a purchase order that all gets approved, and then it moves through the order and purchasing process.
With this start of the process, is the email just between us as the buyer and the factories, or does Frethan have access to the back end so they can sort of monitor and see what's taking place?
So everything in the platform is confidential, so that's all your information. So you can be going messaging them back and forth, and that'll be just contained in your own environment.
Yep.
However, if you are having trouble, and perhaps need some assistance negotiating things like that, then you can request for help, and then you just give us permission and we can jump in and have a look. So at how you're going with the negotiation process. In our higher tier subscription plans, you do actually get a dedicated support person. I think it's up to, I think the top plan, it's about 25 hours a month or so. It's quite a high number of hours that you can have working with a support person that will help you with those with that negotiation process. So there is the ability for us to be much more hands-on if you need us to, but also so it's really hopefully we've made it simple enough for you to be able to navigate yourself, and hopefully we've made our AI bots smart enough to be able to help you with most of your questions, but we absolutely have people that can jump in and help.
Will they help with the contract side of it as well if you get stuck?
Yeah, so the again, with the higher tier subscriptions, that's included into it. So you'll be able to work with they are actually team members from ChinaDirect Sourcing who can come in and help you. They've got obviously years of experience in sort of working with Chinese suppliers, and so essentially you get a very light version of the incredible service that you get through ChinaDirect Sourcing if you're using the Frethan platform. Yeah.
Because once you start with the contracts, I think when you'll be all right once you get started.
Yeah. Well, there's templates in there as well. So they are templates that you can use, which is basically like your best practice template for a sample making agreement. So it has got terms and conditions and things in there that you should be considering when you're negotiating that sample making agreement or when you're negotiating your purchase order. And so just those templates alone should help you enormously in making sure that you are clearly communicating the requirements and the specifications for your products.
Do you have any samples of the templates on you now you can show?
I don't know if this is a real sample making agreement or not. Let's have a look. Okay, yes, it is. So this is an example of a sample making agreement. So it does have sort of terms and conditions, and obviously it's written in a bilingual manner as well. So so that on both sides, it's very clear that we know what we're signing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Lindy, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, basically, for the first time, because ChinaDirect Sourcing has been running for 20 years, but Frethan is very new. So we are transitioning many things, create this particular digital platform. So for the first time, you guys are a special, a customer to Frethan. If Frethan is suitable for you, I highly recommend you subscribe ASAP. But if Frethan is not for you, it's your projects are much more complicated, then talk to Anne directly, and then probably say Canton Fair trip, and those are the things probably you still talk to Anne and have Anne to, you know, assist you, such as, for instance, you know, the customized products or invention, etc. To talk about your IP, then talk to Anne. So, but if you felt Frethan is for you, then you are very lucky, because you actually not only get me and also get Sharon. We are going to run this webinar for probably around 4 to 8 weeks, and until we really helped you to be on track, and you know, not only to help you navigate how the platform works, but also answer any questions you may have. Normally you don't get me, you know that. We have 1,000 customers, we have, you know, like 30,000 supplier, and so, and then, you know, I run a very, you know, busy company. Normally you don't get me, but for Frethan, we are committed. You know, for the first 20 subscriber getting on board, you will get hands-on, like you know, feedback and support from both Sharon and me, until, you know, you're confident, you know how to use it. Sharon will answer the question about the onboarding process, how to use the platform. I will answer the question about, you know, some of about importing aspects, and, you know, what would be difficulty, how you negotiate in that. So in that, you know, basically you are in the safe hands for the next few weeks, and until you're comfortable to go through, as long as the Frethan is suitable for you.
Great. Thanks.
As far as shipping and freight forwarding and all that sort of stuff's concerned, is that all carried out through this platform as well, or do we need to source that ourselves?
No. In that case, that's a great question. Actually, that's one unique thing is Frethan also has selected a few partners and on Frethan platform. Those partners are the one we actually ChinaDirect direct sourcing have been used, and so therefore, you know, when come to the shipping and that part, and we will have you to, you know, it will be have a drop down menu, and you can contact them and you can request them to give you a quote, and then they will look after you. So then in that way, you know, it will take care of everything and deliver to your door.
Yeah, perfect.
Any other questions? Dave, do you have any question? Oops, just dropped. Okay, Sharon, did you finish?
I just had one more for us, sorry. The products that we're looking to import, so we won't need to apply for and get our own import license. We'll just need a visa to enter China to go to the Canton Fair. We won't have to go any further to get our own import licenses into Australia.
What is the product?
We're looking at swimming pool heat pumps. So they've got a refrigerant component to them. So we're not sure.
I see. What sort of quantity?
I think we can get 36 of it. The units fit inside a 20-foot container. So that'll be the initial run, and then hopefully if things go well and they're a good product, once we finally source the manufacturer, then hopefully we can get 2 or 3 containers a year as required.
I see. So generally to say, later on we will list you know, what needed the license, what doesn't need the license. So most of the scenario you do not need a license. However, for example, some of the vehicle, like motor vehicle, you will need the permits, okay, from transport department. And also some of the chemical, sometimes you would need the permits. And anything regarding the like a plant or changing the environment of Australia as a separate island, and then that will need a special permits. Anything regarding the food, and then you're eating, and then, you know, ecosystem, then you need the permits. Other than that, most of the time, like industrial products or like you know, textile or pump or etc., not necessarily need any permits. Okay, so if you have anything like, say for instance, a toy gun, you know, if you write as a toy, you can import. But if you write as a toy gun, it will be you will be confiscated by the custom. So those are the little things you need to know a little bit beforehand. So, you know, if you decided to do import yourself, those are the things that we will give you some like a reminder. We will tell you, says, when you import this, please be careful about here. Have you checked this? Have you checked that? That's why we have all the checklist for you. And then when you go through the process, you make sure you have, you know, tick the boxes.
Yeah.
And also for the Canton Fair, I believe, Steve, have you already got the invitation from us?
It came through today. Liam
Oh.
sent it through just before.
Oh, yeah. I think, Liam, I have already, yes, I saw your
Yeah.
passport. And yeah, so that's good. When you go there, if you need any assistance, Anne can arrange the trade assistant to pick you up and then to book the hotel, to arrange the badges for you.
Yeah, we're just working all that out at the moment. We're thinking of maybe staying in Hong Kong and just catching the bullet train in every day.
No. I wouldn't recommend that at all, Steve. Even though I love the bullet train, even though I think a bullet train is great, however, I wouldn't recommend that. Okay, for the couple of reasons. Okay, number one, which phase are you thinking of going to Canton Fair?
Phase 1.
Okay, so how many days are you thinking?
4.
Okay, that's great. So if you are thinking of going to 4 days, then at least you need to stay 5 nights. And then, you know, the Canton Fair is such a thing. It can be very, very overwhelming. And after you had the whole day, like looking around, you want to find a hotel nearby. You want to go like as fast as, you know, have a rest, not traveling on another bullet train. No.
Yep.
So I would not recommend that way at all. And you know, the bullet train costs money, and if you add that money into the accommodation, you can get a good accommodation anyway. And the hotel in Hong Kong is not cheap anyway. So in that, I would highly recommend you get you know, just stay in Guangzhou. Okay.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
When is the fair?
For 15th of April to 19th of April, that's phase 1. 23rd to 27th, that's phase 2. And then I think from 31st or 1st of May until 5th of May is the third one. So they run twice a year, and each time there are 3 phases.
And what are the phases? So sorry, I don't understand. What are the phases?
Depends on what
Products?
category of the product you're looking for, determine which phase you go to.
Okay. And if I want to go to 2, you can send me an invitation as well, can you?
Yes. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Trent, after the call, I'll go ahead and send you and give you more
Great.
details about it. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks, Anne.
And all the full list of all the 3 phases. Don't worry.
Great.
I'll take care of
Thank
that.
you.
Yep.
Yeah, so in detailed information about the Canton Fair trip, how many phases you want to go, when do you want to go, invitation letter, do you need a trader assistant, do you want a package, and talk to Anne, and we'll look after you for all the details for that. Okay?
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah. You will be in safe hands.
We sure will.
Yeah. So do we have any other questions?
That's about it at the moment for me.
That's it for me.
Wonderful. Okay. So if we have no more questions, I just want to conclude today's meeting. Number one, if you are ready for Frethan subscription, and talk to Anne, and you know, Anne can arrange whether do the invoice, do the subscription, or do the payment, whichever way you feel comfortable. If you have further questions regarding trip to China and you know, the product specification, etc., talk to Anne, and she will answer you and guide you to the right direction. Okay, And we will run the same webinar next week, but on different topic. So it seems like today we talk about how to onboard in Frethan and also more of the Canton Fair. But next time, if you guys want to come along to ask further questions, say for example, if you already start a subscription of Frethan, or you decided to subscribe Frethan, or you decided to use ChinaDirect sourcing, doesn't matter. Bring the question on. We are here. You get, we call the champagne experience, but a beer budget. Yeah, and this is like a historic, and it's unheard of, because we never used to run that. But this is very you guys are very unique, very special. This is we just run, had our milestone party last Friday. Last Monday, we signed a $130 million procurement contract for all the construction company. Yes, and then on 15th of February, we are going to start the national tour in Brisbane. Where do you guys located?
Sunshine Coast.
Melbourne.
Perth, WA.
Okay, perfect. You see, I'm coming to, so you make sure you attend the 15th of February event, okay? Come to see us, come to join us, even though construction material is not related to you, but we will talk about the Canton Fair. You will meet me, Sharon, in person, okay? So, Anne, can you make sure send all of them the invitation for the event?
Yes, please.
And then on 23rd of February, I'm coming to Perth.
Ah, cool.
Yes,
Cool.
I'm coming
Welcome.
to Perth, and you will meet me in person. Exactly right. And so we are running the whole national tour in Perth. I think it was 28th of February. I'm coming to Melbourne. Okay, so meet me in Melbourne. And you have a list of the questions, come and check us out, and we will bring some of the developers, and they share their process, they share their why they choose us to Frethan and ChinaDirect sourcing on their sourcing needs. So you then get to meet all of us in person, right?
Great.
Good.
So I am so looking forward to meet you in person, and can't wait. And I leave the rest of the paperwork follow up for Anne to go through. And I want to acknowledge Sharon for the fabulous running through the process of onboarding. Thank you for you all.
Thank you, and
Thanks,
congratulations for the platform in a way. Thank you. Wish you all the best as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.